happened at Oklahoma State?
Well, a lot did and a lot didn't, and it's obviously a frustrating night in a lot of different areas. Probably, it's we've got to find and be better at consistently getting better in all phases of the offense week to week. We haven't been able to stack 2 or 3 where all areas have been improving, and that's been obviously disappointing. I think biggest things is when you're on the road, we have to take care of the football, and we can't get penalties and have mental errors. And obviously, it's any time you take little, it's very easy to start taking little things for granted, and that's from our perspective. Starts with us as a staff, and down to our players, and those little things add up really, really fast, and that's what leads to a performance like that.
Does that impact Will Howard's confidence at all?
I know. I know he was hurting for sure. After a loss like that, and you play the quarterback position at a high level at one point or another. It's sometimes it may happen, and those stick with you. I know one comes to mind for myself, and so that's never a good deal. But as far as a true confidence thing, I don't believe so. I think he's because of the confidence he has is genuine and real, and something that he's built over a long period of time, and knows the belief that I have in him, Coach has in him, and we all, his teammates, have in him. That it's obviously something you never want to have to go through, but at the end of the day, it was a tough one, but he'll be fine.
What does Texas Tech present defensively?
No, they're a really long group. They got really good length up front. I think they're twitchy. I think they got good pass rushers, and they'll let those 4 guys up front pin their ears back and come after you a little bit. And they'll play a lot of man coverage, and they got some length and some good cover guys in the back end, and and they'll be aggressive. They were aggressive against us last year, and it's something we're going to have to make sure that we handle and take one step at a time.
As a former quarterback, where's the demarcation line between discouraging turnovers and not going too far into overly conservative play?
That's a good question. I mean, and that's because we still have to be aggressive. Will's going to be aggressive, and that's one of Will's strengths too. Is when you have a player like him, I mean, he will and has put the ball in some tight windows, over the course of time. And so, biggest thing again is in a lot of those situations from a coaching standpoint is, hey, how did we build the play? What was I asking of him based on coverage ID, based on situation? What was the information he had when the time he had to make the decision? And sometimes those are the things that you try to look at to try to, from the player's standpoint. And then from a staff standpoint, we've got to just make sure that, again, we're able to do and maintain good balance. We've got to create more explosive plays, obviously, in the pass game, and keep pushing through and working through to build those things. Because if we don't push ourselves, then at the end of the day, we're not going to get any better at them anyways. So.
You played Avery in some games, you played not two in others. What's gone into those decisions, and is it just a week-by-week thing with him?
Yeah, to this point, at least when it's been close, it's been a little bit of a feel, been a little bit of a schematically some of the things that we had in the game plan for what we thought we were going to get to provide us an advantage. I think we've got a good plan for Avery moving forward, in this week, but obviously will be the main guy, so that's kind of how we've worked it, but. Again, he's going to be just fine.
Are there any other receivers we haven't seen a ton of this season you think could still help you moving forward?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a couple young guys that could get in there. I'd say probably Jace Brown would jump to the top of the list in my head for that might get on the field and have a chance to make an impact.
Coach McGuire mentioned on his news conference that this could be like a war. He said starter versus starter. If you got like guys in the trenches, this is going to be a war. Do you kind of see it that way, that it's going to be a big battle like that?
I definitely do. I mean, it's excuse me. Definitely, I remember every time I went down to Lubbock as a player, for sure. You know, and it's be an evening game, a hostile environment, and you know, I think again, I think they're a physical bunch. I think they're an aggressive bunch, and it's going to come down to who's able to execute and make some plays and not make some mistakes. I mean, I think it's a good description.
How do you think you guys have handled playing on the road so far?
Well, so far, obviously not great because we haven't obviously been able to win. But I think it's it's bigger than that, and I think there's I think there's again a lot of those little things that I'm talking about. That give you a chance to win tight games on the road, and at times when you get into one of those wars where it might be ugly, and that's something we have to grow and get better and get through. Is, hey, how do we are able to batten down the hatches, focus, execute, not make mistakes, and get into a battle on the road in a hostile environment and come out on top, because we've been close, and it's unfortunately haven't been able to get over the hump.